Hi, this is Justin with Justin's Web Design. I just wanted to take a few minutes and show you this workshop I put together on mobile marketing and specifically how to use the power of mobile marketing to bring in more business for you, both more clients and higher paying clients. What I'd like to cover here is the top 10 mobile trends and how you can capitalize on them, why you should have a mobile website, some of the behavioral changes of your target market, the potential mobile marketing campaign elements, and just overall how to make sense of this mobile marketing madness. So right now you're probably wondering how can you gain an ROI from mobile marketing? Well, this is what we're going to cover right now, and here's why. We cannot solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. Albert Einstein. 10 top trends and how to capitalize on them. How was your 2011? What are we going to do in 2012 to make things even better? The first trend has to do with what consumers are doing online. Everyone should have their own brand. Every business, every person, in some respect or another, has a brand whether they recognize it or not. The consumers are building 10 times more web pages than the marketers are. From YouTube to Facebook, more web properties are created every day, more sources of information coming from the consumers, and the numbers are exploding at amazing rates. The consumers give out more marketing information than they used to, and this plays into what's called the KLT factor, know, like, and trust. When you see a post from someone that you trust, a friend that you know, you are more likely to take that information and actually act on it. If it's a link, you're more likely to click on it. If it's a video, you're more likely to watch it. So it's that conversation between the consumers and amongst the consumers that we are trying to influence and encourage when it's positive and make it so that we can direct the narrative. Companies are losing the influence and power. Used to be that you'd see giant companies like Coca-Cola and Pizza Hut are on TV and they're starting the conversations and they're exploding their sales using television advertising. Now people are making a lot more decisions based on their friends because it's so much easier for them to get that information. As a company, you need to observe the social talk that's going on in the communities and let it grow around your brand. The second trend is called mass individualization. And basically what we're talking about here, it seems kind of odd, it seems almost like a contradiction in terms, and in some respects it is. But what we're looking at here is things like Facebook, where on a mass appeal level, you're able to communicate your individual well. This photo is about Nike and how they have custom sneakers. These are custom sneakers that you can produce, that you can customize your own sneakers, but you're still being marketed to on a mass level. So it's using platforms and technology to connect with a mass audience, but to allow them their own individual way of looking at the content or of accessing the content or editing the content. The third trend has to do with mobile platforms. Mobile platforms have hit critical mass. They've hit the tipping point, if you're familiar with that book. The relationships have changed. Back, the first revisions of the internet, of HTML, Internet 1.0, if you will, was static websites. One-to-one, a very simple. Internet 2.0 came along. That has to do with the social communities and the properties that get back into that mass individualization. You deal with the web-based browsing, the desktops, and really communicating out to the broad market. Internet mobile, 3.0, if you will, is back to a one-to-one relationship with mobile users, and that's the trend that's coming about now that is getting me excited about mobile websites. Mobile is global. Using different types of platforms, people are accessing social, like Facebook, and Facebook is connecting up with mobile and really putting a lot of eggs in that. The mobile is growing through Android, Apple iPhone, iTouch, iPad are all big players that are making this a very rapid growth industry. Of course, Google has their hands right in the middle of that. Trend number 5, mobile marketing is a different kind of search. We're used to using Google.com. It's what most people's searches go through. But with mobile search, then people are looking for ways to speed up the process and not have to type into their little tiny phone with their big fat fingers, speaking for myself. And so a lot of technologies are becoming popular. You have the QR code, which you see in the middle of your screen, which you can scan with a smartphone or most mobile phones really with the right kind of app. There are things like tag readers where they can read an ISBN number, which is the numbers that manage books. GPS location proximity marketing hasn't really taken off yet, but it's going to be one of the big things. I can assure you that Google's going to be right in the midst of that, and basically it's using your phone's GPS to serve out marketing or information that's based specifically about the location that you're standing in at any given point. And that's going to be huge, I'm sure. You have something called Google Goggles, and I don't know if you've used this before, but it's basically an application that allows you to take your smartphone, take a picture of something, and then Google will search and bring up information based on what it's able to glean from that image that you took. Email is dying. Email is the new fax. Open rates are declining. Meanwhile, text messages are open more than 90% of the time. There was one company that did a text messaging campaign that got $100 worth of revenue for every dollar spent. And they did that by creating a VIP club for their current customers and then giving out a special to those customers. Those people were already buyers, so they're already primed, but the point is that their text messages were opened an incredible number, an incredible percentage of the time, and that's what allows people to have that instant gratification, an instant, response, an instant ROI on your sales dollars. Here's an interesting set of statistics. This has to do with the amount of data that's used in the different areas. And you'll see that people are using their phones more and more, and they will be using their phones more and more for video. It's the yellow number, the data number, that really is encouraging to us, because the bigger the yellow it gets, it's 22% in the next 3 years. That's data. That means websites being opened. Video. Chances are you're going to be creating video for your business at some point. Having video on YouTube that people can open with their smartphone is going to be a valuable way for you to capitalize on this trend. And trend number 8, this is probably going to surprise some people. People are going to say, no, this isn't true. But it is where we're going. And that's that the speed at which internet-enabled phones are growing indicates that by 2020, there will be more people with internet-based telephones than there will be desktop computers. it took PCs a long time to build up to this level. Smartphones are doing it in a fraction of the time. And we can see this. We look around and we know how many people we know have smartphones. You know how many people out there have smartphones. And guess what? A lot more people are getting them for Christmas. And guess what? A lot more people will buy them over 2012. It's just becoming one of those new necessities. And it wasn't for a little while, and now it's becoming just present everywhere. Trend number 9, mobile meets social. One of the key things people are using their cell phone for, especially smartphones these days, is accessing their Facebook, accessing their Twitter. They are doing this through applications that are built specifically to connect their smartphones up with Facebook and Twitter. And as you can see on this statistic, more than 72 million people, these are U.S. statistics, access their social networking sites or blogs on their mobile device. This is an increase of 37% over last year. This is a statistic from August of this year, of 2011. The majority of mobile social networkers read posts from brands. In other words, when you post a message about your business, something that's interesting to them, they're following you for some reason. And if you're providing interesting tidbits of information or tips or contests or other information, they are actually reading that. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn post mobile growth of at least 50%. More than half of mobile social networks workers, people using their mobile phone to access network sites, they are accessing those sites nearly daily. If you look at this, the U.S. mobile user activity, 70% of mobile social networkers posted a status update while on their mobile phone. More than half of mobile users likely interact with brands. And when you're looking at these percentages, one of the ones that's really interesting is 52.9% read posts from organizations and brands/events. That's more than half. This is a huge market that's left untapped. And there are many, many people that never go on Facebook on their computer, but are on it all the time on their mobile phone. Trend number 10, moms go mobile. Important demographic here. Moms are more likely than the general population to own a smartphone. Their usage of mobile internet skyrocketed between 2009 and 2011. 2/3 of mothers with a mobile phone use the mobile web regularly. So these are your customers who are representing $2.4 trillion worth of buying power and are online using their mobile phones. And it's not hard to understand this kind of a trend. You think of your average soccer mom on the go all the time, at games, at school, volunteering, working, and getting those breaks every once in a while and being able to access and stay in touch with teenage daughters, teenage sons, teenagers, and friends and family through Facebook online, and doing research on purchases they have to make online. This is why online spending just keeps growing. Right now, it's monumental, and it's just going to keep growing, keep getting bigger, and mobile spending will be taking a bigger piece of the online spending mix. The natural progression of this is that as people are using their phones to surf more, they're going to get more comfortable with buying stuff online. And new technologies and new systems are going to come into place that will make buying easier on mobile phones. And as this all comes about, you're going to find people interested in making those quick purchases on their mobile phones. And what's even more significant right now in the current market is that people are doing their research on these phones, and then they're calling, and someone who's on a mobile phone looking at your website is a lot more likely to call. So let me ask you this. Is your business set up to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for the massive population of mobile users? Probably not. It's simple to stop losing these sales, to capitalize on this market of mobile users that's growing exponentially. The key element is your mobile optimized website. And you need this site in order to not lose sales. Overall, you'll want to look at a total mobile marketing strategy that is going to help you make the most out of mobile sales. But it all starts with your mobile optimized website. What if I don't have a mobile optimized website? This brings up one of the common misconceptions people have about what we're doing here as far as creating a mobile website. Because of other ways that people optimize websites, then it's easy for someone to come along and say, we're going to mobile optimize your website. Really, in order to have a well-optimized site for mobile, then you need to have a separate website for mobile. You need to have a website that's built in a certain way just for mobile. You want to start from scratch with a site that is lean and mean and only contains the content that most of your users who are accessing the website with a mobile browser are going to want to see. Things like your contact information, your map, your hours, coupons, services, that kind of stuff in a very small package that is easy to navigate and easy to use. One of the traps that small businesses fall into as far as this goes is outsourcing. And really, everything's outsourcing to some degree. You're outsourcing to me if you have me build the website for you. But I'm more talking about using websites to outsource building your mobile website. The key element with this has to do with communication and trust. Those are the key things that you always have to look at. If you're thinking about outsourcing anything, then you need to make sure that the people that you are outsourcing to are people that you can trust and that you can communicate well with. The same reason why you wouldn't want to bring your car into a mechanic you didn't trust and a mechanic that you couldn't communicate well with is the same reason why you wouldn't want to bring your business life, the vehicle that you use to find success in your market. You don't want to bring this vehicle into a place where you can't trust the people you're working with, and you can't trust and you can't communicate well to them what your goals are. Ultimately, you don't know what you don't know. This means that both from a standpoint of asking someone to build you a mobile website who you don't necessarily know has all of the skills, and as far as building your own mobile website, you will run into this problem of not knowing what you don't know. I'll paraphrase a comedian. His line was a little blue, but he basically said, I taught myself how to play guitar, which is a bad decision because I don't know how to play the guitar. I was a crummy teacher. And like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but that's what it comes down to is people oftentimes as business owners, we're forced to teach ourselves how to do stuff, and most of the time this ends up in us being frustrated and costing us a lot of time and also not having the results that we're really after. So this is a place where you can invest a small amount of capital and have great results and then focus your energy and your time on building your business and on the things that make your business successful. So if you want to build your own mobile website, there are tools for doing that. You can search in Google for building a mobile website. You'll find that they all over-promise and under-deliver as far as saying it's going to take you 3 minutes to build a website, and if it does take you 3 minutes to build a website, chances are it wasn't a very good website. And so, and what's more likely is that you spend hours messing with it and it still doesn't work right, and you don't know why, and then you have to hire someone after all to do it. So I don't recommend building it yourself unless you're really technical and you enjoy that process. And even then, you have to accept that you're not likely to get everything right as far as when you compare it to someone who's going to build, who's built thousands of websites and is building hundreds of mobile websites. So why should you have a mobile website? Well, hopefully you've gone through this presentation this far. You're pretty certain that this is an important thing to build into your marketing program, but here are some more interesting facts that might push you over the edge of knowing that this is the time. 90 million people in the U.S. own smartphones, and in September there were 2/3 of all smartphone owners had used their phones for shopping, for comparing products, prices, searching for coupons, taking product pictures, or locating retail stores. They were using those phones for those retail shopping efforts. And this is a trend that's not likely to slow down. There's no indication that this isn't going to do anything but become more pervasive. The same way cell phones took over as a whole, and it gets to a point where the penetration of cell phones into the U.S. market is so high, the smartphone penetration is growing exponentially. And so having a business without well-developed mobile strategy, you are likely to not only miss out on the sales of the people who are accessing your site through mobile means, but at the point where the majority of businesses have good mobile websites, your business will start to look obsolete by not having that website. Just like a business right now looks obsolete if they don't have a good quality website. It's not even a matter of having a website. If you have a website that looks old, then your business can look obsolete. Not having a mobile website will jump that shark at some point. Maybe it'll be in 2012, maybe it'll be in 2013. I can't imagine it'll be later than that, the way that everything's moving. So this is the time to get on board if you want to really crush your competition. You can wait around and see what happens and wait until all your competitors have mobile websites, or you can capture some market share right now while your competitors are still sleeping. One of the key elements of this is not only the percentage. Okay, the percentage I'll give you. The percentage of people who are accessing your website right now through a mobile device might be 6%, it might be 10%, 12%. It's not going to be a huge percentage. But one of the things that you have to take into consideration with these people is that these are people who are buyers. And when you're looking at things that indicate purchase intent, then they show up, you have the norm, which is 3%, they show up at 11%, almost 4 times more likely to have a purchase intent. In other words, they're looking for a phone number to call you, to buy from you. They're looking for your address to come in and shop with you. These kinds of things are indications that they're buyers and not just people trying to glean, general information. And this is part of the reason why this is such a powerful new marketplace for you to be a part of. So, mobile marketing, why now? 82% of Americans never leave home without their mobile phone. I know I don't. I don't know if every once in a while you might accidentally forget your phone. Don't you feel scared a little bit? Or a little bit nervous, like no one's going to be able to contact me. What will I do if I break down? Half of all Americans sleep with their phone right next to them. 3 out of 5 searches are done using a mobile phone. That statistic, I believe, is specifically about local searches. So people searching for local services, local businesses, are 3 out of 5 searches they're making on a mobile phone. Is your business being found? One of the key elements here is that Google's going to give a little extra juice. Google is all about giving a good end user experience to the person using their service, the person searching in Google. And to that end, it makes perfect sense, and it's showing to be true, that they give preferential placement to websites that are mobile optimized when people are searching on a mobile phone. There's some indication that they're giving preferential, like you get better rankings even on your desktop when someone's searching on a desktop when you have a mobile site, but I've yet to see that completely tested, so I can't say for sure. But it makes absolute perfect sense that Google is going to deliver those mobile websites to mobile users more often, because that's going to be a better experience for those mobile users. Here are some potential aspects of a mobile marketing campaign. It's not all about the website. You also have SMS, or what's just known as a text message, MMS, which is multimedia messages, email. People are accessing their email on their phone. This is something to keep in mind, because those big, well-formatted HTML emails that some email marketing firms are recommending and setting up for you and look pretty on a desktop computer don't work at all in iPhone or an Android phone. And a lot of people are checking their email a lot more often on their phone than they are on their computer. And of course you have optimized mobile websites. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm telling you is the most important piece of your mobile marketing program, is your mobile website. And I should mention at this point, you might want multiple mobile websites. Why would you want that? Well, if your business does multiple things, having what are called niche websites in the different areas could provide you with extra leads. So if you're a carpet cleaning business and you do both residential and commercial carpet cleaning, having a mobile website about a mobile website about residential carpet cleaning and a mobile website about commercial carpet cleaning, having each of those will likely provide you more results than just having one. You should really have a basic website as well with each of the niche websites, because that will give you more opportunities to come up with during desktop searches as well as mobile searches. Proximity marketing, we talked about a little bit. I don't think that it's quite there yet, but it's going to be huge, and as soon as it really breaks free and people are used to it, it's going to be amazing. It's kind of like QR codes. When you look around, you're seeing more and more QR codes. We didn't really talk about them too much, but I have a couple in the slides that you see as we go along, and they just are an easy way for someone on their phone to access some piece of information that you've encoded into this QR code. It stands for Quick Response Code, and that QR code can hold a website, is the most common thing, but it can also hold like all of your contact information, a V-card, so that you could have the equivalent of a business card worth of information on this little code that someone can scan with their phone, and it'll automatically pull up, depending on their settings, it'll automatically pull up their contact manager and add it into, and ask them if they want to add it into their contacts. It's very powerful, and it hasn't quite hit the tipping point yet, but it will. And you're going to see QR codes on everything because it's just that easy. Not enough people know about it yet to really drive the demand, but as people find out how easy it is, I think that you're going to see very few people stop using them. Once you start using it, you won't stop. And that's what happened with a lot of services like Google. That's how Google took off. Once someone tried it, they never used a different search engine. And so their growth, never declined. People didn't try other search engines, which was the typical thing to do back when Google was first starting out, is that you try multiple search engines trying to find good results. And people would try the newest one. Well, they did that with Google, and then they got good results, and they always got good results with Google, so they always used Google. Content creation. Content is king. Basically, that means you need to know what information your target customers want, and you need to find out what information your target customers want and deliver that information to them in the most efficient way that they like to see it. Content creation doesn't mean just writing text. A lot of times it means creating videos or having databases. Mobile apps are big and can be a useful tool. If there's some kind of a tool, some kind of an information product that you can create an app around to make it easy for people to access it with their mobile phone, that's a powerful marketing tool. There's mobile PPC, which is pay-per-click, and mobile banner ads. They both are advertising on mobile phones. They have a place. They're going to be faster to set up. Ultimately, it's what's called distraction marketing or interruption marketing. The ad is on the bottom, the ad is in the middle of the screen, and people don't like them. And so that doesn't make them the most powerful tools. However, they are fast because you can have mobile ad up, and same with an ad on your desktop. You can have an ad up for pay-per-click really quick, and then you just pay for every time someone clicks on it, as you'd expect. And we kind of covered this, what do you do if you have a site? Your mobile site is going to be a smaller, more efficient, more streamlined version of your site. It should have a matching branding message and provide the content that most mobile users are going to want to see. We're going to go after, you've probably heard of the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your work. 80% of your customers, or 20% of your customers produce 80% of the sales, etc., etc. The 80-20 rule is real well known. I think that within the internet circles, a lot of times you see that as a 90-10 or a 95-5 rule. And when it comes to mobile marketing, I think we're looking at a 90-10, where 90% of the people are going to want a certain amount of information. Like 70% of them are going to want your phone number. Make it easy. We're going to make a tap to call, a button that they can click to call. They don't even have to dial your phone number. 20% are going to want to get your address. Some people are going to want to know if you have any sales, any coupons. And we're going to try and encourage people to sign up for your email list if you want to run a database, and I recommend that you do. There are three things. When you're talking about mobile marketing, there are three key factors that relate to a mobile website that make it work well in Google or not work well in Google. And for that matter, make it work well for the end user. Google's goals and the end user goals are the same. Google is trying to provide the best end user experience. To that end, what makes Google happy will usually make the end user happy. The three things are load time. I put that first for a reason. I'm going to give you all three rapid succession here, though. Load time, content, and layout. Now, the load time is very, very important on a mobile website, where we've kind of been able to scooch up a little bit in the size of pictures and the size of videos, because a lot of people have high-speed internet at home. On a mobile device, a lot of times your internet is really slow. I'm sure you've experienced this if you use your phone to browse. So we need to use images sparingly, use very optimized images, and use scripting very sparingly. Basically, we're just going to make this site mean and clean and really fast loading. And the reason I say this is the most important part is because if the site doesn't load, and different people are going to have different standards on this, but certainly if the site doesn't load within a few seconds, maybe 15, 20 seconds, a good percentage of your end users are going to hit that back button. And if they hit the back button, they never saw anything else. So it doesn't matter what else is on your website. If your site doesn't load quickly, especially on a mobile site, this is true anyway, but if your site doesn't load quickly, you're going to lose a certain percentage of people before they ever see your site. And this is one of the primary things that Google is looking at with mobile sites. It's one of the ways that they can determine whether your site is mobile optimized or not, is because when you load a regular website in your browser, even though you can see it, you have to sit and zoom in and out and mess with it. It's going to take a lot longer to load because it's made to load in the desktop computer. The second thing is content. We covered content to a degree. It's about the content your end user wants to see. The third thing is the layout. As opposed to a desktop where you have a lot of room to have the navigation on the left or on the top and drop-down menus and all of that. With a mobile site, it needs to be a lot more sparse. The buttons need to be bigger in comparison to the screen. It needs to just be real easy for people to click around and see. And if you want this, and this is going to be right smack in the middle of the video, so only people who are listening carefully will understand this, but if you want a copy of this slide that shows you all of the aspects a mobile website should have and mobile marketing should have, then email me or send me a message or send me a comment on Yahoo with your information. Email me you can email me at admin@ebeaverton.com, admin@ebeaverton.com, or go to my website, justinswebdesign.com, and fill out my contact form. Let me know. I'll send you a copy of this slide. Not the whole presentation, but this slide, because it's tiny and you couldn't possibly see all of the things that are on here. I did want to point out a couple of things we talked about a little bit, but we want to minimize scrolling, which means we can't have a ton of content on it. You don't want people to have to scroll through several screens. The mobile site, more than any other site, has to be user-centric. It has to be built in order to be easily managed by people, because not only are these mobile users using a device that's less powerful for displaying websites, they're also less patient. They're just going to go to the next one. Thumb friendly on the right side. I really like this. Fingers operate mobile phones. So it's a different kind of animal. We're using bigger icons. We're using bigger buttons. And it's a matter of making things clickable, so to speak. They're tapping on things. But thumb friendly is an important aspect of it. And on the right, on the bottom, it says the site needs to load fast. And we covered that. That's one of the primary things. It has to load fast. Here are some examples of, it's an example of one mobile website. So you'll see on the left, you have the home page, first screen that you come to. You have icons for the basic stuff that people are going to want to know. Hours is one thing I hadn't mentioned. It's a great thing that people probably want to know about. Coupons, services, why us, contact, contact, and has a tap to call on the bottom. Now on the middle slide there, it shows you what comes up if you type on that little, if you click on that little 10% off special, and then it comes up and says sign up with your name and email and subscribe and get a coupon up for 10% off your next purchase. On the right-hand side, you have a map, which shows up when they click on the location button. I actually, a lot of times, will just link the location directly to Google Maps just because I feel like it's an easier transition for the end user. Again, that goes to the end user. On a normal website, you'd want to keep them on your website, but they will have the opportunity to easily, view the whole map within your website. On a mobile phone, having to view the little map through the little screen could be frustrating, and so that's why I tend to lean towards having the link go directly to the map, and that might be something I change. I'm doing research on it still. Basically what we're talking about here is for you to stop losing sales and boost your profit using mobile marketing. It gives you a chance to profit here in 2012, get in on the ground floor of this opportunity that is going to come along regardless. And just like websites, I don't know when websites came out or when you started your business, if you drug your heels as far as creating a website, but at some point it became a necessity, and everybody knew they had to have a website. And it's the same way, at some point, everybody's going to know that they need to have a mobile website, with rare exception. How do you get started? I can help. You can call me. You could do a Google search, you do some more research, or you could use me as your trusted advisor and let me explain to you what I have to offer as far as creating a mobile website for you and just get it done for you. I hope that I'll hear from you soon, that you can give me a call at 503-828-1763. Give me a call and let me help you build your mobile website, get a leg up on your competition. I really appreciate you spending all this time with me, learning about mobile marketing, and I hope that you found some value in it, regardless of whether you decide to get a mobile website or not, or get one through me or not. I hope that I provided you some good, valuable information. Feel free to call even if you have questions, even if you are looking at a different program and you're thinking that maybe it would work better for your business. And that's fine. I'm always here to give you my honest opinion, and on occasion I've had situations where people have asked me about a given website solution for a given market, and it has been a better fit for them. And I will tell people that honestly. I don't want you as a customer if I can't provide you the best service. And so that's what I'm trying to do here, and that's what I hope to do in the future. So thank you very much for your time. Please give me a call and talk to me about mobile websites. Thanks.